Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We got another Washington Commanders weekly stream. Today, we will be previewing the Washington Commanders versus San Francisco 49ers game tomorrow on Christmas Eve. I got my guy Abdullah, fellow Hokie from DMV Sports Zone, helping me preview this game. Appreciate you coming on, Abdullah. How you doing?
I'm good, man. This game got me anxious, but it's every other Commanders preview game. So
Yeah, for sure. And make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to DMV Sports Zone. Of course, Abdullah's on there, Nati as well. Noah and Evan, they got a great group over there. So make sure you guys subscribe to them. Link is the first one in the description. Let's see what's up, Washington Commanders in the chat. What's up, Luke Skywalker's missing hand? My guy Josh Brown, get caught up. So this is a big game, of course. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. I think we all know that. Very, very hard game for the Commanders to win. But said the same thing, about the Eagles game. It was tough game going in. They came off a or tough loss against the Vikings, and were able to come in and beat beat the 49 or not the 49ers, the Eagles. It's kind of a similar scenario here, but I just feel a little bit different going into this game. Like I just have no like the Eagles, you could score on the Eagles. The 49ers are so different, and I just have no faith really in this offense and Scott Turner to score enough points to beat the 49ers, especially against a defense like the 49ers. But we're going to get into all that in a little bit. But first, let's kind of get into like housekeeping just while we're waiting for some more people to get in here, just some injury updates and everything. So, Benjamin St. Juice, I think he's listed questionable for the game, but John Keim said he's playing. That is a big boost. That is a big boost for sure. He is our best cornerback on this roster. He's been really good for us and been, missed the last three games, right? He missed the Falcons game and the two Giants games. So last
Mhm.
three games he's missed. It sucks. But he's back. It would have been if we would have had him for the first Giants game, we would have won that game. I don't know if this past game would have made a difference, but I think we definitely would have beat them if we had him the first Giants game. And then of course Chase Young, the guy in the thumbnail, he is back finally, 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 finally. He is back. Let's add some more people in the chat. Hail Skins, what's up? DC Gamer, Noah Washington, left hand up. Get caught up. My guy Josh again. M Jones and DC Gamer. So Chase Young, DMV guy, is finally back. It's been so long. 13 months since this man has played an NFL game, and I was getting really anxious and frustrated with the situation. I know a lot of people were. Like, what are your thoughts on the situation, and are you happy he's finally back and we can just move on from whatever happened this year?
Yeah, I think for me, like I made a video about this week, literally before the day they announced he was coming back. Where is Chase Young? I think the fans definitely got impatient. But another thing that I am scared about is when he comes back tomorrow and he doesn't look the same. It's gonna take some time, and it sucks because it's Chase Young, our franchise guy. But we gotta be patient with him. We saw how patient we were with Curtis Samuel when he was dealing with that hamstring injury, and we just don't want to repeat the same mistake with what happened with RG3. So I'm happy he's back. He's the guy. I have his jersey. I love the dude. DMV native, went to Gonzaga. So and he balled out against the Niners not too long ago. I know it's a different team, but still, it'd be awesome if we can make that impact literally day one of him coming back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely a could be a big boost, like you said. DMV guy went to DeMatha, and I'm excited. I don't think he's gonna make a big impact. I don't think he will. I hope he does. I hope he makes a big impact, but I think these last few games are very important in terms of okay, get him some snaps, get that rust off so that 2023, no excuses, he is back. He is 100% back. But let's say he didn't play these last few games, then the first, game he would be playing for us would be week 1 next year, 2023. That would be almost 2 years since the ACL injury. Like that would have been too long, and then 2023 you would have had to sacrifice that in terms of okay, he's still coming back from the injury, he's still not 100% himself. So I'm happy he's getting some games back just to get a feel of what it's like to come back from that injury. This game, I think they said around 12 to 16 snaps, so not a lot. But again, getting him some snaps will make a little bit of an impact. And then I'm thinking, next week it'll be 8 days off. I believe it'll be 8 days off. We'll have a Sunday game against the Browns. And maybe he gets a 10 snap increase and you get that to 25. And then week 18, if we're still in the playoff hunt, then maybe he plays 35, 40 snaps. And if we're somehow in the playoffs, maybe he plays his maximum snaps. Like that is the goal. That is the goal for sure. What's up, Asher? What's up, Brendan? And what's up, my guy DeAndre, who correctly, I did a segment last week kind of talking about bold predictions for this game. And DeAndre said Jahan Dotson would have over 100 yards. So he got, and I think a touchdown. So he got that one right. That was good. We'll do that for sure in this video. But yeah, Chase Young, how much of an impact do you think he'll make this week?
Honestly, I'm gonna say like maybe little to not. Like I could see some tackles for losses, but he has a big test going up against Trent Williams, a former guy in Washington. Obviously, Mike McGlinchey, I'd be more optimistic if he's going up against him. But even last time when he went against Trent Williams when he was a rookie, he played decently. But again, coming off an injury, I won't expect maybe a few pressures, tackle for losses for sure, but I won't expect a sack or a strip sack.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything. I think maybe he gets a sack, but I think it could be like a lucky sack, like Deron Payne or Jonathan Allen do all the work, and then he just comes in and cleans it up. And honestly, I would love that. I would love that just because I think that would do wonders for his confidence. And so I'm hoping he's able to do something and give him as many snaps as he possibly can. So the snap limit is 16, snap count 16. Give him 16 so that the next week you can increase that and get him close to full strength, if not full strength, by the end of the season, whether that's week 18 or the playoffs. Get him there. I'm excited just to see the guy back. And it will be a boost. Like, even though he's not going to be fully healthy, he's fully healthy, but he's not fully back, if you know what I mean. Because even after coming off the injury, it takes a while to adjust. But he's better than James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill, and even not fully himself. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And then Benjamin St-Juste, that'll be a huge boost for the Commanders as well. They have Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, I believe, is out. So you won't have to worry about him. But George, they have the 49ers are probably the best team in football if you take out the quarterback position. Like, honestly, I don't, and obviously, like, quarterback is the most important position, so it's hard to take it out. But if you talk in terms of just the players besides the quarterback position, I don't know. There might be a couple teams that are in consideration, but you look at their offense, they got Trent Williams, they got George Kittle, they have Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel on defense. They have Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, what's his name?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Kinlaw, Travarius Ward, Jimmy Ward. Like, they've got so many players. Like, it's just like, man, this team is loaded. And the quarterback, like, he's not, like, honestly, I haven't been super impressed. Like, he's made some good plays, but, like, I'm really interested to see if, what we can do, what he'll do if we can get him flustered early on. Let's see. Someone says I'm a firm believer that the NFL is rigged the game because of Dan Snyder. Honestly, I'm not a big NFL's rigged guy, but last week was terrible. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. The refs sucked, but I kind of talked about this. Both calls were terrible. The Terry thing was terrible. He lined up like 25 times in that same position during the game, and he checked with the ref twice. Like, should he have been a little bit up? Yeah, but that's a terrible call. But here's the thing. First off, let's say we get the touchdown. Those calls don't happen. We get the touchdown. We got to get the 2-point conversion. There's probably, I would say, a 50% chance we get it. So that's 50% chance there. Then there's still a minute left. We got to stop them and not let them get a field goal. I would say there's probably a 70% chance we're able to do that. So you multiply 50 by 70, and then it's like a 50-50 shot, maybe a little bit higher than 50-50 shot in overtime. So if you really do the math, like the refs were terrible and they screwed us on that play. Like I really wanted the chance to, do that 2-point conversion and play on. But what lost us the game was Scott Turner, was Taylor Heineke's fumbles, and Ron Rivera, his, terrible decision to punt the ball at the 34-yard line. Sorry, I almost dropped my phone. That was terrible. So I think those are more reasons, those are more the reasons that we lost the game than just the refs, because the refs were bad, but they missed calls on both sides. Those calls were awful, like just awful. There's I don't know how you can be a ref and not call that pass interference. And same thing with the, where Terry was lining up. Both were terrible calls, but Scott Turner sucked. He was the biggest reason. Like I was so mad so we had the Jahan Dotson 60-yard play. And then I think Brian Robinson had like a nice 18-yard run. We're at like the 11, 12-yard line. And it's like, okay, Brian Robinson, 12 carries, 89 yards, averaging 7.4 yards per carry at this point. And you do like an outside run to Curtis Samuel when he has had so far in this game. It was obviously not working. 4 carries for 0 yards. Like the guy usually doesn't get this many carries. And of course, he keeps getting more carries after not doing anything, and then he gets 1 yard. He gets 1 yard on the play, and it's 2nd and 9. It just screws you. 2nd and 9 is not a good position to be in. Brian Robinson, if he gets that run, at worst, it's like 2nd and 6, but probably it's 2nd and short, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2, and then you can just keep running and get it in the end zone. That to me is what lost us the game, because that's the possession we fumbled it. Your thoughts on kind of that situation?
No, I mean, I agree with you, man. The whole fan base does. Scott Turner he gets cute at the most inconvenient times. There's no point. You see what's working. B Rob is literally eating. What was the stat? 4 carries in the second half? Are you kidding me? It's Brian Robinson. That we drafted this man for a reason. Get those yards, man. I just genuinely don't understand his ideology and putting Taylor in. Like, I love the RPOs, but there's just like a point in time where he has to tell himself, is this the most appropriate time to run this play? If it's gray area, don't do it at all, especially in the red zone. Take advantage of the opportunities. I mean, we had the momentum. 61-yard pass to Jahan Dotson. Amazing catch. And the Curtis Samuel play. I mean, it generally just doesn't make any sense. And for Scott, I mean, his job, his last 3 games, is still on the line, man. I'm not confident in him being offensive coordinator for the future. And there's times where he's like, oh, wow, he actually looks convenient. But other times where he's like, oh, what the heck are we doing? So, again, man, it's just gotta understand when to make those right calls, and can't do if you're not doing it right in the red zone. Then what's the point of even going all the way to make that drive length, and just to fail in the end zone, just get a field goal, then your kicker misses it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree. What's up, Wavy? So, and someone said that referees cost us the game point blank, and then DeAndre said refs are probably 3rd on the list. And honestly, I agree. I would go Scott Turner. Yeah, Scott Turner, Heineke, one of those guys. Those are the top 2, then probably the refs, then Ron Rivera, because that decision to punt the 34-yard line is just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I've never seen someone do that. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Especially when the opposing team for on 4th and 9 and they're away. Like, bro, like that just shows like which team actually has courage and other team is playing scared.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I tweeted out Ron Rivera. In this situation, Brian Dable had the balls and Ron Rivera did not. So it is what it is. Honestly, at this point, we lost the game. We got to move on. We got to win these we got to win 2 out of the next 3. There's no other way to put it. I would love to win 3, because if we win 3, it's a lock to get in. I just don't think we're winning 3. It's going to be very, very tough. The 49ers game. I mean, if you somehow win that game, then you're basically in the playoffs. You just got to win one of those last 2. But yeah, the last game, it's unfortunate. Like the refs, again, they were bad, but like the Commanders should have won that game. Like I think it was like they had like 3 points at some point, and it was like very little time left. What was it? 14-3 going into halftime? Was that the score or not?
Yeah. It was 14.
Like the amount of time they had the ball and to only score 3 points is just absolutely ridiculous. And then like the thing that also upsets me, it's like, okay, on one drive, you gave the ball to Terry 4 or 5 times, and it worked. It worked perfectly. You scored 7 points on that drive. You scored a touchdown. And then the rest of the game, like they target Terry like 1 or 2 more times. Like, what are we doing? Give him the ball. He's your best player on the team. Him or Jonathan Allen. But on offense, clearly Terry McLaurin's your best player. Give him the ball. Same thing with Jahan Dotson. It was working. Like, I love the guy, Logan Thomas, fellow Hokie. Same thing with John Bates. But, like, okay, I don't need, unless, like, it's a red zone play and they're wide open or, you think they can get it, I don't need them getting targets. Because here's the thing. Especially if it's an underneath play, John Bates, Logan Thomas, they catch it, they're done. Maybe they'll get 1 or 2 yards. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, if they catch it over the middle or on a crossing route for like 3, 4, 5 yards, maybe they'll be done. But there's also a chance, a much higher chance than the other two, that they'll get a ton of yards after the catch. So honestly, I don't really need to see those guys get targets. I really don't. They just don't, like Logan Thomas. He isn't that good anymore. Like, he had that one good year in 2020. Last year he was good when he was healthy, but had obviously the hamstring and then the ACL/MCL and meniscus. And then this year, just besides like 1 or 2 games, he hasn't looked the same. So tight end is a need, in my opinion, this offseason. Like, we're gonna have to go after a tight end. That's my thoughts. But moving on to the game this week. I mean, we talked about it. If they can somehow steal this game, it's away. It's against one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. If you can somehow steal this game, that's a very quality win, and it's on a short week as well. But if you can get that win, I mean, you're positioning yourself very, very well for a playoff spot. Because I made a video about this. I went more in depth, but the playoff scenario basically is, obviously, if the Commanders win the next 3, they're in. No doubt about it. But that's probably not going to happen. So what's a realistic scenario for the Commanders? If they win 2, they can make the playoffs with winning 2 out of the next 3, with the Lions and the Seahawks losing one of their last 3. The Seahawks pretty much a lock to lose one of their last 3. I think they play the Chiefs. I mean, the Jets aren't amazing, but that's a debatable game. So I think the Seahawks are going to lose a game. The Lions, that's questionable. I just think that there's 3 games. I think it's the Bears, Panthers, and Packers. Like, they're going to be favored or close to favored in all those games. But I just think that there's so many. Those are going to be all, maybe winnable games for them, but like also maybe losable games, that there's a good shot they lose one of those 3, especially against the Packers. I believe it's at Lambeau, Week 18. Like, I think the Packers are going to be playing hard there. Let's see. Bronc Freak says, Niner fan here, but I think he might be wrong. I don't think the tight ends will be going out on routes much this game. I think they block to protect the QB against your pass rush. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, George Kittle, I mean, he's a great tight end, but yeah, I mean, you guys use him a lot as a blocker. So, Abdullah, keys to victory for this game. Give me one key to victory you have, and someone says Travarius Ward has a concussion. You might be a game time injury decision. Appreciate that, Ecom. Okay, so Abdullah, you got a key to victory for the Commanders?
Yeah, of course. This is also my always key to victory. It's win the turnover battle. It's really that simple. We're away. That San Francisco crowd's going to be loud. I mean, Taylor Heineke, who knows what he can do with that ball. So you got to get after Brock Purdy and limit Christian McCaffrey. And with Ben St. Drew's back and Chase Young back, it's giving me a little bit more confidence. But again, if we win the turnover battle, good chance of us winning this game. That's the biggest one for me.
Yeah, always got to win the turnover battle. Another key to victory I have, we'll keep going back and forth until we run out of keys to victory. One key to victory I have is you have to, and this is a cliche one, but I think it's very important. The red zone, you got to be better in the red zone on offense. Like, it just has to be better. Like, it's just not been good at all. The amount of yards and the amount of time of possession, the amount of plays this team has run, and they only come away with 3 points, it just can't happen. It cannot happen. So, got to be better in the red zone, and maybe give Brian Robinson the ball there. Maybe give him the ball there because yeah, he's the most sure thing you have. I mean, you know, Taylor, I don't trust him in the red zone. He hasn't really succeeded in the red zone this year. So just hand off the ball to Brian Robinson or throw it to Terry or Jahan. Those guys will make it work in the red zone. So that's kind of my main key to victory. You got to be better in the red zone. Like it hasn't been good. Run the damn ball. Just give it to Brian Robinson and he'll make it work. The 49ers have a good defense. And it might be tough to run, but it's also going to be tough to pass on them because of that pass rush. So I would not mind getting those, getting as many yards as you can, and I think you can do that by running the football.
I think also this goes back to offensive play calling a little bit, but clock management, it's just got to be good. We're away, got to learn when to use those timeouts, got to learn when to go for it, got to know when to punt it, got to know when correct challenge call and make sure you're quick with the challenge flag. So again, it's just smart football, and it's sad that that's one of the keys to victory. It shouldn't be a key to victory, but for this coaching staff, it's been up and down this whole year. So time management needs to be better.
I agree for sure. Time management, just some of these decisions like Ron Rivera punting at the 34, it just can't happen. It cannot happen. So I'm trying to think of another key to victory. I kind of talked about it earlier, so I'll do two in this while I'm talking right now. Run the ball. It's going to be really hard to pass on the 49ers. They have a good secondary, of course, but they've got such a good pass rush, and this offensive line isn't great. So I don't know if you're going to be able to have that much time to pass. If you do, short yardage stuff, but try to run the ball. Brian Robinson's physical and tough enough where, yeah, he's not going to get explosive runs. He's not, first of all, he's not that type of guy to get a bunch of 15, 20-yard runs, but also this defense does not give up explosive runs. So I would say just run the ball as much as you can and try to get as close to a third and short as possible so you can either pass it or run it if you need to. They're also very good against play action. So other key to victory, the offensive line, they're going to have to do whatever they can to protect Heineke. And this comes in, Scott Turner as well. Can't do these empty sets all the time. You just can't. Against this defensive line where they have Nick Bosa, who is an absolute stud. He is a top 3 defensive player in the NFL, in my opinion. And you throw in Eric Armstead, even Javon Kinlaw, they have a nasty D-line. And if you go empty set there every single time, you're going to get sacked a lot. If you thought the Giants' defensive line was a problem, just wait tomorrow for the 49ers because they've got a better defensive line. So I don't want to see, especially Scott Turner has to be more aware. When you're in your own 5-yard line, you're inside your own 5. You cannot run empty set. You cannot run empty set, and that's what he did. And they scored a touchdown off of it. That was the difference in this game. You cannot do that. It is absolutely ridiculous. He does not learn. He is awful. Scott Turner sucks. I used to be a Scott Turner fan, but after the first 2 games, I have not been impressed by him besides maybe the Philly game and another game. He has not been good. And this last week was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Because I like the formula of, running the football, controlling the time of possession. That doesn't mean jack if you can't score. Oh, great, you got 38 minutes of possession, but you came away with 10 points. This is just a random stat, but that happens. You got to be better. You have to be able to, there's got to be a correlation between time of possession and points. There is in the NFL. The more time possession you have, the more points, but not with Scott Turner. So he's got to figure out whatever the hell he's doing wrong because it's terrible. I defended this man too much for him to do me like this. So I'm just going off on him. I made a video about it this week that he's just terrible. He was last week. And, yeah, he gets cute at the wrong moments. 2nd and 3, running the ball's been working all game, and you do a flea flicker, and it goes to 3rd and 3. Come on. Just stop it. But, yeah, Scott Turner is terrible. Hopefully he's better. Hopefully he's better this week. Also, Jack Del Rio's been good this year besides the first few games. But one thing I did not like about last week is we were giving the receivers for the Giants way too much cushion. Like, it was like
Oh
10,
man.
12 yards. And I know that's what we like. That's kind of the defense that Del Rio runs. But in this game, it was more apparent. And also, it might have just been more apparent because Daniel Jones kept on throwing 6, 7 yard passes because, or at least initially, they were afraid of our pass rush. Later on, they weren't. They figured out that our pass rush wasn't doing anything. But he would just throw a 6, 7 yard pass, and they would complete it. And it wouldn't always go for a first down, but there was scenarios where, okay, it's 3rd and 13, and they're at like the 39, 40 yard line. So it's going to be a tough field goal. And then they get a 7 yard completion. Okay, now it's a 50 or it's a 44 yard run or a 44 yard field goal instead of a 51. Like, that really, really upset me. So that was something that I didn't like in that game. And I think it hurt us. But Scott Turner was much, much worse than Jack Del Rio, and he's been much, much worse than than Del Rio this whole year. Scott Turner has been an issue, and I don't want him back. I know he got an extension, but like, if this coaching staff is staying, which I think they will, just you got to make a change. Like, Rivera, you have to be self aware, and offense has been trash every year you've been here. First year, second year, and now third year. God, you got to see that it's not all on the quarterback. Like, a lot of it is, like, obviously if we had Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, our offense would be good, but we don't. And some of these coordinators can at least do better than Turner's been doing. So I would move on from Turner. How about you, Abdullah?
Uh with Scott, I mean, good games we could say. That Philly game Monday night, the Minnesota game I'd say too. A little bit of the Jacksonville game, the whole season opener, but again, it's just we have the weapons, and I don't think quarterback. I mean, as much as he could help the quarterback, I don't think the quarterback's helping him. So I'm moving on from him. I just got to get someone young. I want a young guy who just obviously identity, run the ball, take advantage of that. But when to use it at the correct time is way different from just spamming it. So I'm moving on from Scott, even though he might have an okay game the next 3 games.
Yeah, totally, totally, totally agree. Get him out of here. He has not been good. Get someone young. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care who it is. Just someone else besides Scott Turner. He has not been good for us. So, other keys to victory. I mean, you got to try to limit. I mean, like, at least with Debo out, it's a little bit easier. But the guys to keep your eye out for: Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is a good receiver, but I'm not too scared if Benjamin St-Juste plays, because you got St-Juste, McCain, and Fuller, and I'm confident in all three of those guys. I honestly feel like Bob McCain has done a solid job at slot corner. Has he been amazing? No, but he's been solid. So do not mind that at all. I think I'm not too worried about Ayuk. Kittle. I don't know. I'm somewhat worried about him, but they like to run the ball a ton, and they have him as a blocker. So a lot of the times. But Christian McCaffrey worries me, especially if Cameron Curl's not playing. He's probably going to be covering Christian McCaffrey. He did a good job of doing it last year in the Carolina Panthers game. He had that great play on 4th down where he stops him before he makes. Christian McCaffrey makes the catch, but Cameron Curl makes the tackle before the 1st down marker. So yeah, that was a great play. So hopefully he's good to go. I think it's a game time decision. One thing I want to say, we got 60 people in here. I'm sure one of you guys isn't subscribed to me. About 187 subscribers away from 10,000. Trying to hit that by the end of the year. It's going to be close. Please, 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 if you guys are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It takes 1 second. It's free. Just one click of a button. Go ahead and do it. And of course, same thing goes for DMV Sports Zone. Make sure you guys sub up to them. They're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers and get them there. I mean, I'm sure someone here isn't subscribed to both of us, so go ahead and do it. Yeah, St-Juste is playing. I think he was listed as questionable, but John Keim said he's playing, so I trust John Keim. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, one other thing that I wanted to say. Shoot, I forgot. I forgot what. Oh, Damn, it came into my head and then I forgot it again. You have any other keys to victory while I got it. Brock Purdy. Okay. We have to try to fluster him because yes, Brock Purdy's played fine. He's played well, but I mean, and that's great. He's the last pick of the draft, so that was a great he's played great, but he's played very well. But a lot of the times they get off to an early lead, and part of that's because of him, but part of that is just because they run the ball early and they score a touchdown, and then after that their defense locks up. So what we have to do, like, we got to play aggressive. And I'm fine if we take some risks on defense early on, but we just have to get in his head early on. So if that means, a couple more blitzes, getting some guys on the line of scrimmage and getting some more blitzes, that is fine. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. And maybe you force a turnover and then that gets in his head. And then, he's seeing ghosts or something, whatever. Just get in his head. Get in his head and just try to fluster him as much as possible. Like, he knows his defensive line is good. But if he scores on them early, he's not going to care. But if you get a sack on him early, 3 and out, throw him to the ground pretty hard, get him flustered, that could help us win. Like, honestly, that is in my opinion, the only chance we win this game is if our defensive line dominates and we fluster Brock Purdy and just get him out of sorts so that, okay, now they're playing from behind. That's another key to victory. If we can somehow get off to a fast start, like, I would not mind us getting a ball to start the game. I know it seems bad, but if Scott Turner sometimes can scheme up a good first half drive, or let's say second half drive, like last week, the second half drive was amazing. Like, they marched down the field and scored. So I think that if you can, get the ball early and score, and you're up 7-0, and then you fluster him on their first drive, and whether it's a turnover or a sack or just a 3 and out, you get the ball back and you're up 7-0, and maybe you score. Like, that's how you win. He's the quarterback where, like, if he's up, hey, they're going to be cruising. But if they're down, like, I don't know. We don't know yet if he's a quarterback that could come back from this. And also, some very small sample size. Maybe he wets the bed this week. I have no idea. I'm grasping for straws here, or hairs, whatever the saying is. But
you made up a good point with playing from behind, because if he's playing from behind, he might put the ball in harm's way, might throw some interceptions. So again, I don't know, the games that they've played, I mean, they haven't played an elite defense or even a top 10 above average defense like us, right? I'm pretty sure you got Seattle, they had Tampa Bay. I mean, not crazy defenses. So again, this is a good test for him against us. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. The thing is, the only chance is our defense. Our defense has to step up. Like, I know they only gave up really 13 points against the Giants. I just didn't I didn't think they played that well. They didn't force a single turnover. Like, they were not the reason we lost the game at all. I'm not putting any blame on them, but they could have played better. Like, the D-line got no pressure at all game. Like, Montez Sweat maybe a couple times, but they did nothing to fluster Daniel Jones, and that helped him complete a few, like the pass to Richie James on 4th and 9, like no pressure on that whole drive. And that's 7 points because of that one play. If you stop them there, they lose 7 points because they wouldn't have scored because that was 4th down. So you got the defensive line has to step up this game. The only chance is if the defensive line is dominant. So Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, like, those guys got to step up. And Chase Young, I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on him, but if he can make a couple plays, that would be great. But no pressure. But we're going to need all the help we can get. If we can get a Chase Young game like we did the last time we played the San Francisco 49ers, that will be amazing. But again, a lot has to happen for the Commanders to win. Bronx Freak says, you guys will be the best defense Purdy has faced. Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe he folds under pressure, but I think Kyle Shanahan will do a good job of getting him prepared. So that is kind of the keys to victory. We said a lot, but there's a lot that needs to happen for us to win. So, score prediction. Abdullah, what is your score prediction for this game?
So I think with me, it's gonna be like somewhat slow throughout the whole game, but I think eventually in the fourth, the 49ers will pull away. I just think eventually Kyle Shanahan is gonna be like, okay, I still hate these guys in the bottom in my heart. So I'm not losing to them, especially at home on a Saturday. So I think we're losing 21 to 16. I just feel like we're gonna get into the red zone a good amount of times, but come away with field goals, not touchdowns. That's what's gonna cost us. I don't think Brock Purdy is gonna kill us. I just think their defensive line is gonna go after Taylor Heineke, and it's gonna be a tough pill to swallow. I mean, I think we'll be 7-1.
Yeah, for the thing is for me, it's like I wanna predict less than 12 points because we scored 12 points last week. Their defense is much, much better than Giants. I just have a feeling that this is how this team is. Like they just do things that don't make sense. Like we just like they're gonna watch them score more than 12. So I'm gonna say 13 has kind of been 13 has kind of been in my mind all week. 13 points. But I'm feeling I'm gonna go 16 to 24. 16 to 24. Just kidding. 49ers with the win. Don't think we'll get the win, but hey, I really, really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
Me too. I'm always hoping wrong.
Yeah, I mean, was wrong last week. I thought we were gonna win for sure, and yeah, hopefully, I really, really hope I'm wrong and we get an early Christmas present win against the 49ers. Like my Christmas will be amazing if we win it, but if if we lose, honestly, my Christmas isn't going to be ruined because I'm going into this game expecting us to lose. But Bronk Freak, who is a
I
49ers
basically have
fan,
a quick
said,
question. Sorry, go ahead.
no, yeah, real quick. Let me just read this and then you got it. Bronk Freak says 19 to 10. He's a 49ers fan. He says the 49ers will win. Hey, I could see that for sure. What were you going to say?
So let's say probably most likely we lose. Who do we root for this week? Whoever's playing Detroit, Seattle, just those two teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're rooting for whoever's playing Detroit and I guess the Seattle Seahawks, which I think is the 49 or not the 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. And then I mean, it's a long shot, but the Giants as well. Got to root for the Minnesota Vikings this week. So, like if the Giants lose out, the Giants are 8 wins right now, right? So,
Yep.
if the Giants lose out and we win 2, then we would be ahead of them. So that's a long shot, but that's just another scenario that could happen. So root for the Vikings, root for the Kansas City Chiefs, and whoever the Panthers. Yes, the Panthers are playing the Lions, and then next week the Lions are playing the Bears, and then the next week they're playing the Packers. So honestly, I think they'll be favored in all those games besides maybe the Packers game, but like they're not going to be favored by a ton in those games. Like I don't know what the line is in the Panthers Lions game. It's probably not that much though. It's probably Lions -4, something like that. Not a ton. So yeah, and the Panthers have been playing well. So I could see them losing against the Panthers or the Bears or the Packers. All they got to do is lose one of those three. One of those three they have to lose, and we got to win 2 out of the 3. And the Seahawks have to lose one of the 3, and that could probably happen tomorrow. That probably will happen tomorrow, and then you don't have to worry about the Seahawks. It'll just have to be about the Lions.
And if let's say we get eliminated from playoff contention before like the last game, we put in Sam Howell, right?
I would put in Sam Howell. I mean, Heineke. Like the only thing would be okay, maybe he can get some more money, but I mean I don't care. The Carson Wentz, out of the 3, the least I want to see is Carson Wentz because there's no reason to see him. Like if we're out of playoff contention, we know we're not paying him $28 million next year or whatever it is. I think it's more. We can get out of the contract for nothing, but like if he were on the team, the contract would be a little over 28. We know he's not here. Like we don't need to play him. Like. Yeah, I think honestly, play Howell because I mean our draft. If we're out of playoff contention, our draft pick is going to be terrible anyways. But with Hal, you're worse. I think you're going to be worse with the or with Hal, and then also you give him a game. You give him a game. So that's what I would do. I would play Hal week 18 if you can. And yeah, I mean, just give him some reps. See what you. I mean, honestly, there's nothing really you're going to take away much from the game. Like, okay, if he has an amazing game, first off, the Cowboys are probably going to be playing backups. But if he has an amazing game, okay, great. Maybe you're feeling a little bit better about him as possibly being an option for quarterback of the future. But like, you can't go into a season expecting he's your quarterback of the future. But maybe next year they go into the season saying, okay, we're gonna have Heineke and Hal battle it out, see who's a starter. I could definitely see that. What do you think? Would you want to see Hal week 18 if we're out of the
Yeah,
playoffs?
especially since we're out of the playoffs, we got nothing to lose. I think Sam is the future of this team. I mean, Taylor's you showed us everything. We see them with the full off season and the weapons we have. It's been an awesome story, but at the end of the day, we just need to get that QB1, and we hadn't had it for so long, man. It's frustrating. We haven't won a playoff game since '05. So we gotta find that guy, and if Sam's that guy, you gotta roll with him and just say goodbye to Taylor.
Yeah, I agree. We're just stuck in the quarterback purgatory. Like it's just like it's sad because we haven't had like even in like okay quarterback or a below average. We have not had a below average quarterback since Kirk Cousins. I mean, obviously Kirk Cousins was better than below average, but I'm saying like the last time we've had a below average quarterback, maybe Alex Smith, but like even in 2018, like he was still bad. Like he was bad. Like we like even a below average quarterback, like a 22nd ranked quarterback in the NFL, like that's better than what we've had. Like Heineke is not in that range. The quarterbacks we had before that were not in that range. Like we would be so much better, man. So much better if we had a better, not even a slightly better quarterback. So I'd be interested to see how Howell will play. And Albert said Howell might be another Purdy. Hey, maybe he is, but who knows what Purdy is? Honestly, we've seen a few games.
Exactly.
He could be nothing. He could be nothing. So, and same thing with Howell. He could be nothing, or he could be okay starter. Like I don't think Howell has that much potential, but I think he could be a low tier starter. And honestly, on a rookie deal, a low tier starter, like let's say like 22nd in the NFL, I'll take that honestly on a rookie deal, like a better version of Heineke. I'll take that. It's going to be cheap, and you can do that for a couple years while you're trying to get another quarterback option. But you can win. You can win when with a below average quarterback, but you can't win with like an average or below average quarterback on his second contract. So they're still in quarterback purgatory. Okay, so let's get into the segment we did last week, bold predictions. So, do you have, Abdullah, any bold predictions last week? I think one bold prediction I had was that I had Jamin Davis making a big play, did not happen. And I think I had Heineke over 30 rushing yards, and I said either that or a touchdown. I think he had over 30, and he should have had a touchdown. Like the play, people also are not talking about this enough. The play before the Brian Robinson touchdown that got called back, he got to the 1 yard line. But he totally ran it the wrong way. Like he ran it like he went towards the pylon, which I mean he loves the pylon, but if he would have ran a little bit more to the left, he walks in, maybe gets touched, but he scores a touchdown, and that would have been great for my bold prediction. But let's see. So do you have a bold prediction? I'm trying to think of one
So
that I
does it
could
have to
share.
be like a good prediction or bad? Like, does
It
it
can be
matter?
anything.
Okay. I see. Okay. One thing for sure, I think the 49ers will get their defense a touchdown. I don't know. I see like Nick Bosa strip sack or Fred Warner, Javon Greenlaw, pick six, Taylor Heine. It's one thing. I see a defense touchdown by the 49ers. But for our side of things, man, I'll say that I think Terry will have. I think Terry will have a good day. I mean, I know that's bold, but I think he'll have a good day. especially since maybe it might come in garbage time, but against the Niners, I think we'll have a good day.
All right, so Ecom says Jahan Dotson 9 catches, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is bold. Let's see. Ecom also says Terry 15, 170, and 3 touchdowns. Also bold. Hey, if that happens, we win. DeAndre says Wentz plays and scores a touchdown. Hey, I could see that. I honestly could see that. I think Kyle was talking on his podcast, and this is something I want to talk about actually. So, oh my God, my phone dropped again. This is something I want to talk about with is Heineke and Wentz. Like we could honestly see Wentz in this game, and Kyle on his podcast said that they're probably going to give him a half unless he's abysmal. And if he comes out of the first, if he doesn't play well in the first half, they'll give him a first possession in the second half. And if that doesn't go well, then they could play in Wentz. And honestly, at this point in that game, I don't care. Like, give me whoever has the best chance of winning. Do I want to see Wentz? Not necessarily. But if Heineke's terrible, put in Wentz. I don't care at this point. Heineke's had enough of a leash, in my opinion. The last 2 games have not been good, so I'm fine, having someone else out there. Nate says Terry 29 for 380 and 4 tutties. Ecom says defense gets 3 takeaways. DC Gamer says we score, and honestly, that could be a bold prediction. That could be a bold prediction. I'm trying to think of one for me. I don't know. I was going to say Brian Robinson gets 2 touchdowns, but I don't know if we're going to score 2 touchdowns, but maybe, even though I'm not necessarily predicting us to score 2 touchdowns, maybe he scores 2 touchdowns. And then I'm trying to think of something else. It's hard to do it when you just don't think your offense is going to score that much. And Luke Skywalker is missing hand. Really, really appreciate the $5 donation. Helps out a ton. Appreciate you always supporting the channel. And hey, let's hope we can get this win this weekend. It's gonna be tough. I don't think so, but hopefully we can get that. Happy holidays and appreciate that for sure. And let's see. I'm trying to read some other comments. Commanders block a punt. Hey, hasn't happened all year. I hope it does happen. Let's see. I saw a comment from the 49ers fan, Bronc Freak. I sub, by the way. Wish more Niners YouTubers were like you guys. Hey, appreciate that a ton, man, and glad you subscribed. And hopefully, I know you want the win, but hopefully we get the win. We need it more than you guys.
Yeah, I don't understand what the Niners playing for. Seeding, right? Because they already won the division.
Yeah, they're playing for seeding. So I guess they could pass the Cowboys, or not the Cowboys. They could pass the. They already passed the Bucs, so they could pass the Vikings.
So for
they
2, right? Number 2, they can't get number 1, right?
Nah, I don't, unless they win out and the Eagles lose out, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I think they're not playing for much, honestly. So maybe they're just not going to be very motivated, but it's still going to be a tough game. It's the NFL. They're not going to not.
Plus, Kyle Shanahan hates the guts and soul of this organization, so you know what he's watching.
Exactly. And again, got 85 people in here. I'm sure one of you guys is not subscribed to me or to Abdullah. It takes 1 second. It's free. It's literally just click that red button. It takes 1 second. And again, trying to get to 10K. Let's get it before the end of the year, and subscribe to Abdullah as well. Link in the description. DMV Sports Zone. Great YouTuber there. So let's see. Bold prediction: Chase Young sack. Hey, it could definitely happen. He has to get lucky in terms of he has to be in during a pass rushing situation, because he's not going to play a ton of snaps. It's going to be 15. So he has to be in during a pass rushing situation. And it's got to be maybe some other guys help him out a little bit. I don't know. But hey, I would love that. I would love that for sure. But I guess mine is going to be 2 touchdowns for Brian Robinson, even though I'm not predicting. I'm predicting us to get 16 points. And then I want to say a couple other things. What's up, Gus Bus? Appreciate you coming through. Iman as well, Stefan. So one thing, I just want to mention the Pro Bowl. I didn't make a video about it or do anything, but Terry, Jonathan Allen, Jeremy Reese, and Tress Way all made the Pro Bowl. Really happy about that. Appreciate that, Luke. I'm really happy about that, honestly. Terry that was the one I was most excited about, him making it. Same thing with Jonathan Allen. Excited he made it. Tress Way, of course, he was making is a beast. And then Jeremy Reeves, like honestly, it doesn't really it's a special teams Pro Bowler, but good for him for making it. I mean, he's been okay. He's been solid this year. I mean, he hasn't been like, oh man, he's such a stud. Like, but he's been solid. He's been solid. He's made a couple nice tackles and cover. He's been able to down the ball a couple of times pretty well. So happy for him. I mean, everything he's gone through in terms of going off and on practice squads and stuff like that. For him to be a Pro Bowl starter like that, that's tough. That's tough, and that's very, very impressive. And not a lot of people can say they're a Pro Bowl starter, and he can. So good for him. And I think Deron Payne and Montez Sweat are alternates. So I think Aaron Donald's out for the year, so he might not play. So maybe that gives up a spot for Deron Payne, hopefully. Let's see. Luke Skywalker says, what's our cornerback depth looking like? I mean, St. Juice, Kendall Fuller, Bob McCain, and then you got Danny Johnson and then Christian Holmes. I mean, honestly, Danny Johnson's has been playing all right. Like he's better than Christian Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Iman says we're gonna pick Hurdy off twice. Hey, I hope that happens. And honestly, I hope we can, do something on special teams. Someone said a block punt. Like this is a game where things like that are going to be needed. Either a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, a big special teams play. Like these are the games that those things are going to matter in more than others because it's going to be tough to score on them. So if you can we get a block punt and we either score off that or we get good field position off of it or we get a good punt from Dax Milne or whatever, like we're going to need all the breaks we can get. And another thing, the penalties, man, like we have to be better. Penalties cannot happen. Like they just can't. The stupid penalties cannot happen on special teams. Like we're going to need all the field position we can get. And if you start it at the, the drive at the 8-9 yard line, like it's not going to bode well. It's not going to bode well for you. So that's got to happen. And then, yes, on special teams. And then just in general, like on offense especially, like you cannot have these holding penalties and, be on a 2nd and 20. Like it just cannot happen. It can't happen. 2nd and 20, it's so hard to come back from that. Especially this team. This team cannot come back from 2nd and 20. The Bills, they can. The Kansas City Chiefs, they can. Taylor Heineke and the Commanders, they cannot. So holding penalties like that, they just cannot happen. Gus Bus says 26-20 walk-off win in OT when Wentz throws a bomb to Terry. Hey, I would absolutely love if that happens. If we win tomorrow, hey, it'll be great Christmas present. And yeah, I'll go crazy, but I don't think it's going to happen. Declan says, I think we're going to need at least 2 turnovers forced to win the game. Honestly, you're probably right. Because our offense is not going to do enough to score a lot of points. So we're going to have to help them as much as possible. And Taylor Heineke, you get like the turnovers, like something that people have not been talking about. Someone said in my last stream that he has not had a game where he has not turned the ball over, which is crazy. And I thought he didn't turn it over in the Texans game, but maybe he did. Like, do you remember a turnover in the Texans game or no?
No, honestly, the Texans game.
I know he had the drop pick in the beginning, but that might have been the only game he didn't turn the ball over. And maybe he did. Maybe I'm forgetting something. But the only reason he didn't turn the ball over is because literally they ran the ball every single time basically in the second half. So, like, honestly, that doesn't even count. But he's got to, like, have a game where he just doesn't turn the ball over. It's not that hard, bro. I'm saying that. I'm not in the NFL, but you just got to be better. Taylor has to be better. Hopefully he does. And we're able to win this game. I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe we get a Christmas miracle tomorrow, an early Christmas miracle. I'm really, really hoping because if it happens, we're basically in. We just got to win one of the last 2. And honestly, like I feel like we have a 55-60% chance of beating the Browns. It's at home too, and the Cowboys are probably going to rest their starters. So like it's possible, like, but win this game so you don't have to worry much about the last 2 games. So any last questions you guys have, go ahead and put it in the chat. and we'll answer a couple, and then we're going to end the stream. But it's been a good one so far. Game tomorrow at 4 p.m., 4:05. I mean, 24 hours from now, the game will be over, and I'll probably just have finished posting the post-game reaction. Hopefully, it's a good one, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a good one. Abdullah, any closing thoughts? Unless we got any more questions.
If we lose tomorrow, literally, at least the season didn't end like at week 4 or 5. We thought it did, but just another emotional disaster this year for this team. And I'm telling you, man, once Dan sells the team, I just hope things change. But as of now, just go out and play, man. Nothing much else said.
Yep. And honestly, though, still, if we lose tomorrow, season's still not over. You just got to win your last two, and they're both very winnable games. But you just got to win the last two, and yeah, that's what's got to happen. Appreciate that, Albert. Let's see. DC Gamer says his brother's birthday tomorrow, so hopefully they get the win. And yeah, happy early birthday to your brother. And then yeah, that's kind of it. Someone says any updates. We'll do this. Will be the last thing. Unless you get another good question. It says any updates on injured players. So I talked about this more in depth earlier on in the stream. If you guys want to go and see that, me and Abdullah discussed it. But Chase Young, he's back. Not an official snap count that they put out there, but probably going to be 12 to 16 snaps. And then Benjamin St. Juste is back, or very likely he's back. Cameron Curl, game time decision. Sadiq Charles out, and that's really it for the injury updates. Let's see what's up, Roger Smith. Appreciate you coming through. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's stream. Again, please subscribe as a Christmas present to me and Abdullah. Subscribe to me right here on this channel. It takes 1 second, trying to get to 10K, and subscribe to Abdullah on DMV Sports Zone as well. They're trying to get to 2K. And yeah, man, appreciate everyone for coming on. Happy holidays, and thanks, Ecom, Gus Bus, Albert, Roger Smith. Let's see, Luke Skywalker's missing hand, 49ers fan, Bronx Freak, DC Gamer, Albert, again, everyone, Declan, who came through. Appreciate all of you. And yeah, man, it was a good one. And let's hope we have a good Christmas Eve tomorrow. And if you celebrate Christmas, happy, Merry Christmas, whatever, all the cliche things. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. And I know everyone will if the Commanders win. So, yeah, man.
Yeah.